I absolutely love people. So when I had to be in my space alone for long periods of times, I began to really struggle.
Welcome to episode 1, official episode of Chewing the Fat. I am your host, Big Rob. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I am so excited about it. And my first guest, I couldn't think of anyone better to do my first episode with than one of my best friends in the world, Denise Smith, joining me from Philly. Denise!
Hello! Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm having a wonderful day. Today was pretty chill, just laundry and focus on some schoolwork, but I feel really, really good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about this new little, hopefully more than a hobby that I got going on with the podcast here. I knew when I was putting together, and of course, you've been there for the journey. I've been sending you like, oh, what about this logo? What about that? I'm going to do this music. What do you think about this? And you're like, do it. And I finally hit the record button, hit the direct button, and I'm doing it. So I wanted you to be here for step 1, episode 1. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm honored. I'm honored to be your friend. I'm honored to see you actually completing your dreams. And I'm always going to be a catalyst for you. I'm always going to be here for you to kind of push you towards what you want to do. I'm just like, whatever you decide to do, you're going to be great at it. You have so much experience in it. And when I did my podcast as well, you were just there every step of the way. So I had to return the favor.
Well, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's different when you're on the host side of this. It's like before I was just the guy in the background telling you what cables to plug in and stuff like that. So being on the host side of it is completely different. So you put me at ease, and I appreciate that. I've titled this episode Generational Curse Breaker because that's how I love to think of you, as a generational curse breaker. We became friends from day one, 7 years ago when we first started a retail job together. And, walking into the job, I didn't think I'd find a lifelong friend because that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, from day one, we just clicked. And it's just been a pleasure seeing you blossom and seeing you grow, and to really put on the mantle of a generational curse breaker, because that wasn't necessarily you 7 years ago, but
it wasn't. Yeah.
Your journey to here now, I'm so glad to have been part of it.
Yeah, I feel like starting 7 years ago, I began to blossom and change because I met amazing people, and you are in my VIP club. You are I call you my snaffle cap because you're full of random, very useful facts that I kind of take with me everywhere I go. And I have changed a lot, but I have to give credit to people I've chosen to be around. So it's so funny, like when we go to restaurants or things like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm meeting a friend. And then you walk in and just like, wow, these people look so different, but they mesh very well together. And you have changed my life in a positive way. But yeah, I love the title of the first episode because I feel like in between now and then I have began, and I'm actually officially about to break some generational curses from my family. So I'm super excited about that. There's been a lot of pressure, a lot of turbulence, but smooth sailing right after, September. So
let's talk about some of the curses that you've broken. Okay. When I say that term, generational curse breaker, what's the first one that comes to mind for you?
For me, it's going to be receiving and actually earning my college degree. Yeah. So I'm graduating with my bachelor's in business. September 25th, officially did register for my graduation. No one in my immediate family has done that. So I am the first one. Also, I'm getting married to the love of my life, Joe, on August 29th. So also no one in my immediate family is married. And unfortunately, I haven't seen a successful marriage in my direct family. But I was able to go to therapy, change how I saw things, change my mind frame on communication. That's another generational curse broken. And I found someone who's actually helped me grow and blossom. So we're going to get married, and that's another thing I'm breaking. And I've, over the past year, learned how to invest my money. So, Rob helped me out. Like he started with me a while ago with Stockpile, and then we had good conversations with E-Trade, and then I also learned how to invest in the foreign exchange market with my friends as well. Shout out to Torian and Key, and we've been I've been learning how to make my money in my sleep. And it's something that we're normally not taught, which we need to be taught in school, but it's going to help pay for all of my future endeavors, like a house or another car or a way to kind of retire myself and my future wife. So those are some crazy things I've been breaking. So I'm excited.
It is amazing. And again, to think that it's, I mean, 7 years doesn't seem like a long time, but for all of those barriers to be taken down and taken down and taken down. And you're working on your second degree, right?
Yes, my second degree.
So I mean, so you got one in the pocket, and you make it, and you're going for another one. You found out how to love yourself truthfully, you know.
Yes. And
that's what has been a big catalyst in you being able to find somebody who knows how to love you properly and how the way that you need to be loved.
Absolutely. You know, and because you and I were always taking care of everybody else, you know, so it's like to have someone to take care of you. It's like, wow, I didn't even realize I needed this. And also, like, another thing that you and I have both been experiencing and going through is like a wonderful weight loss journey of like just making healthier choices and treating our bodies a lot better than we used to. So everyone in my family has high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it. So with me losing weight, I'm kind of like helping to get out of that mode as well. But I didn't realize that people just want me to live. And of course, granted, you die. People die every day. But like, if you could choose to make a choice that doesn't cause a heart attack, I mean, it doesn't hurt, you know? Exactly.
And I mean, that's another curse broken. You know, things we think we're stuck in our bodies, and it's so hard. But it is a determination. It is a will. And it's a determination that you have to see these things through, to realize that this is good for me, this is good for Denise, and this is something I need to do, and you stick to it. You are so steadfast in that, and when you set your mind to it, you're going to accomplish it. And it takes a lot to try and sway you, and not much sways you once you've got your mind set to things, and that's amazing. That's amazing because again, I knew you before when it wouldn't take much to a little light breeze blow on you, be done swayed some other direction. So to see you be able to plant your feet so firmly into yourself, into your life, into what you want and what you want to see, and to make those dreams come true. It's just amazing. It is just amazing.
Thank you. It's been an amazing, crazy road. But I'm here. I'm glad that I met you and people. No one's like you, but like people who have kind of tested my mind to kind of be like, you know what, Denise, you're just talking, but you need to be a verb. You need to make it happen. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I need to be action oriented. Instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna do all these things. I'm just like, no, I'm gonna leave Augusta. And then I never left. But then I said, okay, I'm leaving Augusta. And by that time I was mature enough, I actually moved to Philadelphia, and I've changed my life tremendously. So I took a leap of faith. I was scared, but I did it, you know? So now I'm happy. Yeah.
And the thing is not only you're doing it for yourself, I know for a fact you are spreading those pearls of wisdom to other people too. To let them know that, hey, this can be you. It's not just me. I mean, yes, Denise, you are very special. You're very special to me, and you are a rare gem of a person. But you share that knowledge with other people. Say, hey, this can be you too. You can do these things. You just have to put your mind to it. You just have to make that decision that today I'm going to stand up, I'm going to plant my feet, and I'm going to move in a direction that's best for my life.
Right. Yeah, man.
And that's what you do. I call you my lightning bolt, because that's what you are. You flash and you fry people, and that energy that you give them, you know, it's like it might knock them down. They pass out from it because it's so intense. But that's what we need. It enlivens the body. You know, it's a shock to the system, and it's living proof that people can make their life what they want to be. They can be the change that they want to see in the world. But the thing is, absolutely, everybody's world is their own. So you got to change your own world before you can change the whole world.
That's one of my favorite nicknames of all times. Like beyond like D-Nice, which I'm pretty used to now, but I love being called a lightning bolt because like the description, and it's like, dang, well maybe I am that. Maybe I am all of these great elements. And then I call you my cheddar bay biscuit, my CBB, because I feel like, you know, you're soft and you're cuddly and you are very well seasoned, and you are a delicious human being. It's kind of like when I talk to you, I'm just like, man, he's smart, he's funny, he's handsome. He's also very loving and giving, and he'll be like, you know what? Okay, you're doing good at this, but here's another idea. Here's another idea. Here's another way to kind of go about it. Would you mind if I kind of give you this information? I'm just like, yes, please give me this information. And you've always done that, and you've been consistent in that, and you are a wonderful catalyst for so many people. And I just love you. I just can't ever imagine my life without you. And every time I come to Augusta, you are on the list. I have to see Rob. Like you're always on there. I'm saying, if I can't see Rob, I said, Joe, go see Rob. I need someone to give him a hug for me because he needs that, and I just love how you pull up on me, just make sure that I'm good. You're just a great friend, and you deserve all the things.
All right, Denise, this is the point in the interview. This is a question where we start to dive deep. All right.
Yes.
I always tell folks, I put on humor as like armor, because things, they can affect me. I get down, but I get back up again, like the song said. Because that's just who I am. I can't stay in like those down moments. I love to stay positive. Yeah. I love to see other people be positive. I like to shine positivity. But I think people that shine positivity most, they also struggle the most with like depression and things like that, getting into those dark spots. So the question is, how do you stay positive? How do you keep the dark at bay?
Man, this is such a beautiful question. And it's kind of like you don't think about it until you actually find yourself pulling yourself out of those dark moments. For me, for a long time, I would just kind of like brush things off, use humor, like we talked about. But then I started realizing, you know what? I have a lot of like suppressed anger for things that have happened to me. And then sometimes I'll let things get to me, but instead of me trying to fix it, I'll sweep it under the rug. So I did start talking to people about myself and my traumas, people who I trusted, of course, and I went to therapy. I think that I think it's more accepted now, but for a long time, people just would deny how much they were struggling, and they would, it's just a rough day, it'll get better. But then you realize, hey, I'm just going through these really dark times. I think all of us kind of went through that during the pandemic. Ooh. and being alone. I absolutely love people. So when I had to be in my space alone for long periods of times, I began to really struggle. And for me, it was like, okay, let me talk to my partner about it. Let me talk to my friends about it. And also let me not rely on them so heavy, because when you're just like talking to somebody about it over and over again, it sounds like complaining. It's like, okay, Denise, where are your solutions? So I had to start finding solutions for my mental health. So instead of me relying on my partner coming home and taking care of me like a baby, she was like, hey, babe, let's find some better sources for you. So I started using the sources through my job and going to therapy and finding a therapist that I may start actually going to see now because the world's opening back up. But honestly, talking to people, being accountable, because sometimes we don't take accountability for things that happen to us, and also just finding solutions. Like I started going outside, walking outside, just having the sun hit my skin. That was nice. Also just taking time away from things that were stressing me out. So a lot of us, like, we work. I'm guilty of that. Schoolwork. I started giving myself breaks. Like I would take a day off of work during the week. If I felt stressed out, I would take a break from school and I would just do something I liked, play video games, watch a funny movie, or watch a sad movie to kind of cry whatever pain I had out. Yeah, but that's what I kind of do to keep the dark at bay. I just started taking care of myself and not putting everyone before myself. Self-care, for sure.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing that, that's common against, everybody has those times where they get down, and going to therapy or starting therapy, it doesn't have to be laying down on a couch. Literally, it can be a conversation. Right. It can be a conversation with a friend. That's, like you said, that can be the catalyst of change. That can be the catalyst that gets you going in the right direction. watching a movie, having those cry days. I have those cry days, where it's like just it feels like the world is weighing on me, and you get in the shower, let the water hit you, and you just let it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it feels, and it feels like you're so alone. But that's what I think this podcast, these conversations, also want to bring out, is that we're not alone. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's alone. There's so much that everybody has in common if we just open up our eyes and open up our hearts to see that.
Absolutely. And it's like, that's another generational curse. It's like broken. You're not out here just struggling in your feelings, and somebody make you feel weak because you actually feel things. Like my therapist, she said, you need to feel it. People just try to kind of like pick it up like it's like they're Superman, take the rock off their chest. It's like, no, you gotta let it kind of sit there and find ways to break it, to get it off of you. But like when you just try to push it out, it's like you're not going to be able to move it. You got to break it into pieces and dismantle it and find solutions. And I was like, wow, that is a very good call out. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to stop trying to push it off at one time. I need to break it first, and then figure out a way to get it off you.
I love that. Not trying to lift the whole boulder up all at once, but just chip away and
chip it away
and brush it off. Chip it away and brush it off. And then by that time, the boulder gets so much lighter that you can lift that off.
Right. Easy to push it off. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. But it's okay to unpack things. It's okay to feel it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk to people about it. I still have my small circle who I trust to do that with. But I mean, I'm happy I'm even doing it, because a lot of us don't do it. We just kind of suffer in silence, which is terrible. Yeah.
And that's what I don't want people to be. You don't suffer in silence. If you need someone to talk, reach out. You can reach out to me if you want to. I got the podcast. Email me, just to say, hey, I'm going through this. That's just I ain't gonna have the solutions, but I'll listen to you. And I think part of that is the solution, is that you need to know that you're heard, that there are other people that are like you out there. People are struggling with that, and there's somebody that can listen to you, and that's what is great about talking to your friends, talking to your trusted circle, or talking to professional counseling too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
And there's a bunch of different questions. It's created for podcasters to make it easy to interact with their guests and stuff like that. So it's got a random button on here, and I'm going to hit the random button. And then once I say it, I want you to give me your first answer. Now, if you need to think a second, okay, I get it. But I just want you to tell me what's on your heart when we get these questions coming out. All right, here we go. And we go for question number 1. How do you feel about the saying, get busy living or get busy dying?
Ooh, get busy. Oh, that's such a good quote. I feel like for a long time I was getting busy dying. I was just living to work and working to live, and I wasn't living my life. So I feel like over the last, I think, I'm saying like 4 years, I started getting busy living. So I started traveling. I started going to concerts. Then I chose to physically move my location, and I started doing all kind of things that were outside of my comfort zone. And I realized, man, money, you can always get it back, but you can't get time back. So I need to spend my time doing things that I also love, so I can say, oh, you know what? Oh, I was doing this, advancing in my career, going to school, whatever. But in the meantime, I was also doing all of these cool things I learned to do. I got a passport. I went out the country. I'm just like, oh, this is a nice thing I would like to do in the future. So get busy living as soon as you can. Because I didn't start doing this until I was 27, 28. I mean, there's people a lot younger than I am. I'm just like, please start to live. You can't get time back. That's true. That's from one of my favorite movies, The Shawshank Redemption, and that scene where he's talking about, get busy living or get busy dying. I think it's, the world's not as black and white as that, and you don't just instantly
do that again. But like we're talking about, it's a process. You got to, getting busy means you're starting the process. You know what I mean? So you either going to sit there and just let the dying happen, or you're going to start doing the work and start the living. I think that's a great answer, Denise. That's a great answer. All right, here we go. Question number 2. Do you have anything autographed by a celebrity?
Yes. So we talked about get busy living. So I started to go to concerts. So one of the first ones I went to that I started getting busy living. I went to go see an artist named Kaylani, who I really, really enjoy. That was back in 2017. I actually did the meet and greet package, and I met her, and I got an autograph. The poster? Mm-hmm. But then one of my favorite ones was when I actually went to see her in concert, one of my favorite R&B singers of now and probably for the rest of my life. I met her, got to talk to her and have a conversation, and also had a signed CD from her and a signed lanyard from her, and she was amazing. And then most recently, before the pandemic killed my dreams, March of 2020, I saw a new artist. Her name is Isla. She's R&B, and I was able to meet her and see her in concert. She's very new, so it was a very close up, awesome experience. And I got an autographed Polaroid because I took one of her, and also a signed poster and lanyard that's on my fridge. So those are my favorite things I have signed by somebody who is famous. But that's because I chose to start living. Yeah. I started going to see and experience people. So yeah.
That's awesome. I remember when you went to saw her, and I saw the photo you posted, and I was mad because in her meet and greet photos, she covers her face. That's just part of her mystique. That's part of what she does. So, and I didn't understand it, and I thought she was like disrespecting you, and I was so mad.
Joe and I remember, I actually met her with Joe and my good friend Key, and so that's at the time she wore sunglasses so dark that you couldn't see her face. That was a part of her mystery at the time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, it's not that. She said every single picture at the time she was doing that. But now, if you take a picture, you can probably see her eyes now. But no, she wasn't disrespecting me. She was being awesome, just sticking to what she does. Yeah.
Yeah, you made so much fun of me for that because I didn't know.
Yeah, I did. I was like, it's not that deep. It's going to be okay.
You're like, just stop. All right, here we go. Question number 3. If you achieved all of your life goals tomorrow, achieved them all tomorrow, what would you do next? So all of these goals, they're done.
Okay.
What's the next thing that you would want to set as a goal for yourself?
Okay, so I mentioned all the goals that I wanted to do. I would think maybe do something that was out of my comfort zone, like go out of the country, do something crazy, like skydiving or parasailing. That's something I've never really done before because I have a lot of cool goals. So if I completed all of them tomorrow, let me just relax and just do things that are fun because I have a lot of goals. Like even though I have a few that are coming up right now, I still want to look at what's next for me as far as the career goes, where I want to live next because I don't have any roots in Philly. So I'm like, is it going to be California? Is it going to be Austin? Is it going to be somewhere weird like Arizona? I don't know yet. So it's kind of like Joe and I we're trying to figure that out. So I would just want to go on a good vacation. That's what I want to do next.
Awesome. I'd be down for that. All right, number 4. What was the most expensive meal you've ever eaten out?
Whoa. Okay. So, shout out to very good friend, my baby Liz, and her man James. My birthday just recently passed, and they took me to Fogo de Chao, and it's a Brazilian steakhouse. And what I love about Liz is that when she goes to restaurants, she works in that business. She wants to give whoever she's taking there the best experience, give them the best experience possible. So, man, we had appetizers, we had actual all kind of drinks, all of the meats. And her and him pay for everything. She wouldn't let me see the check, but I would guesstimate it was like $300 or $400. It was. They wouldn't let me pull on my wallet, but it was a beautiful experience. That's the most recent one. And then also Joe and I on our first date, she took me to Finch and Fifth in Augusta, Georgia. Shout out to Finch and Fifth. And she also gave me the full experience. So I got drinks, I got appetizer, I got my entree, and we got desserts. And I'm sure she spent a good couple $100. But at the time, she had just started flying for American, so she wasn't making very much. So I know she spent a good piece of money on me, and I was really grateful for that. But I was like, you didn't have to do that, but she wouldn't let me pull my wallet. So yeah, I was grateful.
That's awesome. So all right, here we go. Number 5. If you were a superhero, what would your power be and why?
Oh gosh. Okay, so this may sound kind of weird, but I was thinking about like animorphs and like the ability to transform into animals or to transform into really anything. Mm-hmm. And I kind of would like to be like a fly on the wall. I feel like if you were to kind of be able to have wings and just go somewhere and be very, very small, I would like to kind of go into like studios to hear like some of my music being made, or go into a theater, or just to fly to like an event and kind of hear the conversations that could inspire me in the future. So I would like to be like this. Sometimes it's not even about saying stuff, it's just being there and listening. Like I would like to listen to a lot of perspective from everywhere, all over the world. And it's like, wow, let me just learn and grow. I'm all about learning and growing through experiences. So yeah. A fly on the wall.
Okay. So that would be your superpower, is that you would go and you'd gather this intelligence from other people and be like, hey, your neighbor who you say you hate, they eat the same kind of cereal as you. They, or this world leader, he does the same thing in the morning. He brushes his teeth up the top first and then down at the bottom, puts his left foot in his shoe and then his right foot. You know what I mean? It's like,
I would be the person who's just like kind of just gaining perspectives from other people, and not necessarily trying to solve problems, but trying to just learn as much as I can from people who know more than I do. Yeah.
And through that would ultimately hopefully bring some peace to the world and some camaraderie, like you said, that commonality that we have, that we everybody has so much in common, but people don't realize it because they don't want to take the time. They don't want to take the time to get to know people, to have a conversation.
It's the truth.
That's a great that's a great superpower, Denise. That is amazing superpower. And that's it. That's our Fast 5. That's our time too. Denise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
I can't thank you enough for being here. Again, I told you I couldn't do the first show without you being my first guest. So hopefully that every Thursday we'll have another episode. I'll have another amazing person to talk to. Not quite as amazing as Denise, but I'll have another amazing person to talk to. If you want to see the amazing things that Denise is up to, you can always find her on Instagram at dnice6_. I'll put it in the links on here somewhere. I'll figure out how to do that. But at dnice6_ is Denise. Thank you again for being on my first episode. I love you so much.
I love you. I tell my auntie about you all the time. I'm just like, I said, he's one of my favorite people on the planet. And so we talk about everything. And honestly, I don't know where I would be without his positivity. It's constant. It's like, it's consistent. It's like, even if I feel like I'm not doing the best, he's just like, you are doing so many amazing things. Like, don't stop. And I'm like, I needed that. But how did he know? He just knew. And he told me I needed that. So I knew. I don't know. I just feel very grateful for you. You feel like a dream sometimes, I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much, Denise. I love you so much. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.